Mila Carson arrived just before dawn at the sleek kitchen of the renowned Le Rêve restaurant, her first day ready to begin. Her chef's jacket, slightly worn at the cuffs and creased from travel, hung over a simple shirt and faded trousers. She looked exhausted from the overnight train journey, her hair loosely pulled back, a faint trace of last night's fatigue lingering beneath her composed exterior. The kitchen buzzed with quiet precision. Stainless steel surfaces gleamed under bright lights, waitstaff poised like dancers ready to spring into action, and chefs in immaculate uniforms moved with practiced efficiency. Orders were called out crisply, sharp knives chopped vegetables in swift rhythms, and the air held the mingled scents of fresh herbs and simmering sauces. Mila stepped cautiously, seeking a place to settle, her steps quiet among the faster, more certain strides of others. Conversations paused briefly as some staff took note of the unusual newcomer, her modest attire standing out amidst the polished uniforms. Connor, the sous-chef, stood nearby, arms crossed and eyes sharp. Catching sight of Mila, his gaze flickered to her jacket and casual clothes, then hardened. "Hey!" Connor's voice cut through the room. "You there? What are you doing with that towel? You're not kitchen staff, are you?" Before Mila could answer, he jabbed a finger toward a heap of dirty dishes carelessly piled by the sink. "Clean those up, spill's been sitting there way too long. Dishwasher's slacking." Laughter and murmurs spread through the kitchen as some cooks exchanged amused looks. A couple of younger staff shot Mila curious glances, while others glanced away with thinly veiled judgment. Mila's cheeks warmed slightly, but her face remained steady, her eyes alert beneath calm restraint. She said nothing, absorbing the brusque command with quiet dignity. Mila stood motionless for a moment, the hum of the kitchen swirling around her. Connor's voice echoed, sharp and commanding, leaving little room for argument. "Right away," she said softly, the words polite but carrying no immediate promise to comply. She didn't move toward the towering pile of soiled dishes spilled haphazardly near the sink, where the dishwasher had evidently failed to keep pace. Instead, turning on her heel, she walked away from the clattering pots and sizzling pans, leaving a visibly unsettled Connor sputtering behind her. Her footsteps carried her to the quiet refuge of the restaurant's front office. The contrast was stark. The sharp order of the kitchen gave way to calm lighting and the gentle murmur of voices. Miss Harding, the human resources manager, sat behind a gleaming desk, her welcoming smile an immediate balm against the earlier tension. "Mila," Miss Harding said warmly as the door swung closed behind her. "We've been expecting you." Mila returned the smile lightly, grateful, and settled into the chair opposite the desk. "Thank you. It's nice to finally be here." "Of course," Miss Harding replied, her tone subtly professional but friendly. "Welcome officially to Le Rêve. You'll be stepping in as our new head of operations. That means you oversee everything, from kitchen flow and staffing to front-of-house coordination." Mila nodded, the weight of the responsibility settling comfortably on her shoulders. "I wanted to start the day by observing the team, see how things operate from the ground level before making any waves." Miss Harding's eyes gleamed with approval. "That's smart leadership. We've held back announcing it to the wider staff to see how the dynamics play out naturally." Back in the kitchen, Connor was already the center of attention, a wide grin plastered across his face as he spoke loudly to a gathering of chefs and servers. "Did you see that? I told her to clean up that mess, just like any dishwasher. She barely blinked. Put the new girl in her place before she even got started." A few colleagues chuckled, some nodding in agreement, but a few faces held uncertain expressions, glancing toward the entrance as if waiting for them to be proven right or wrong. Connor's pride swelled with every boast, unaware that the woman he'd ordered around was already stepping into her rightful authority, poised to change the rhythm of this kitchen and beyond. The dining room, still soft with morning light filtering through tall windows, buzzed quietly with anticipation. The hum of kitchen activity filtered in through the open archway, intermingling with the murmurs of staff gathering for an important announcement. It was no secret that change was on the horizon, but nobody knew exactly what to expect. Connor arrived last, confidence radiating off him like heat from a stove. His chest puffed out, a slow, smug smile tugging at the corners of his mouth. He approached the gathering groups with a casual swagger, exchanging nods and elbow bumps with a few of the veteran line cooks. To him, the day was already his. He thought he had already asserted his dominance simply by deriding the seemingly meek newcomer. To him, the kitchen's hierarchy had been reinforced without challenge. The restaurant manager, Mr. Davidson, stepped forward. His presence commanded immediate attention. Tall and impeccably dressed, he spoke clearly and crisply, a hint of pride woven through his voice. "Everyone, may I have your attention, please?" A hush fell over the room as all eyes fixed on him. As you all know, Le Reve strives for excellence every day, not just in our food and service, but in how we work together as a team. He paused briefly, sweeping his gaze over the assembled group. "Today, I'm honored to introduce a new leader to our family, someone who will oversee all departments starting immediately. Please join me in welcoming Mila Carson as our new head of operations." At the far end of the room, Mila stepped forward, still wearing the same simple clothes from the kitchen, wrinkled chef's jacket, casual shirt underneath, and yet, the room shifted instantly. The chatter ceased, conversations frozen midair. Heads turned, eyes locked on her with a sudden sharpness that wasn't there before. Connor's smug smile faltered. Confusion flickered, then quickly morphed to disbelief. His mouth parted, but no words came. His gaze fixed on Mila, searching for an explanation, trying to negotiate the shift in reality. Mr. Davidson continued, "Ms. Carson comes to us with an extraordinary record, years managing high-profile kitchens internationally, transforming operations to elevate performance and staff morale alike. She has been instrumental in turning around several Michelin-starred establishments, earning accolades that speak volumes in our industry." Whispers rippled through the staff. A few people exchanged quick glances, others leaned closer to share discreetly excited comments. The atmosphere, once casual and relaxed, now tingled with respect and renewed focus. Connor swallowed hard, stepping slightly backward. His earlier arrogance disappeared as he grappled with the fact that the woman he openly derided was the very person who now held authority over everyone assembled. One young line cook whispered to a colleague, "I wonder how he's going to explain that one now." Mila stood tall, calm and composed, her expression dignified. Without haste, she took her place beside the manager, awaiting her moment to speak. The realization dawned on the staff that the easy hierarchy they once counted on had just been redefined, quietly, decisively, and unmistakably. Mila inhaled deeply and met the eyes of everyone gathered before her. The unexpected spotlight didn't rattle her. Years of experience had refined her composure into quiet confidence. Her voice was steady when she finally spoke, careful and measured. "Thank you, Mr. Davidson, and thank you all for the warm welcome." She took a moment, letting her gaze sweep across the group. "I know my arrival today may have caught some of you off guard. I chose to wear practical clothing because I wanted, to be honest, to step directly into your world, to observe you working, how this kitchen and dining floor operate when no one's watching." Murmurs rippled through the crowd, a few heads nodding in understanding. "I've spent over a decade managing kitchens and operations that push the boundaries of culinary excellence," she continued. "From executive chef roles to operations manager roles in various international settings. I've worked alongside talented teams who taught me that leadership isn't about titles or appearances, it's about building trust, fostering respect, and creating an environment where everyone can thrive." Connor shifted uncomfortably at the edge of the circle, arms crossed tightly. Mila's gaze brushed past him, acknowledging his presence without challenge. I also recognize that the chef's jacket doesn't make the leader, Mila said quietly. People's dedication, skill, and the way they treat one another, that's the true measure of a team. She gave a brief smile. I came here directly from a morning flight, hence the simple attire. It was a conscious choice to be seen as part of the team rather than apart from it. Miss Harding stepped forward, adding, Mila's leadership style is hands-on and collaborative. She understands the rigors of kitchen and floor demands and is committed to elevating standards, not by imposing rigid hierarchies, but by encouraging cooperation and accountability. Mila nodded in agreement and then addressed the team directly. Starting today, I want us to focus on communication and respect. I will be evaluating operations, yes, but also seeking your input. Together, we'll identify areas for improvement and celebrate what works well. My door is open, not just figuratively but literally. If you see something, say something. The room responded. Some exchanged impressed glances, others relaxed into the new dynamic. Even Connor, though still visibly uneasy, kept his posture less confrontational. As your head of operations, I expect professionalism and teamwork from every individual in this restaurant, Mila concluded. We all play a part in the success of Le Rêve. I look forward to working with every one of you. A few younger chefs stepped forward, already eager to engage. The atmosphere felt charged with renewed energy. Connor lingered uncertainly, the bravado that marked his entrance now tempered by the undeniable presence and competence standing before him. The undercurrent of his earlier arrogance had shifted into a stranger mix of respect and reluctant acknowledgement. As the meeting dispersed, Mila's steady, approachable confidence remained, setting a tone that promised change, not just in titles but in how this kitchen would function as a united team. Later that morning, after the team had returned to their stations and the first lunch service began to flourish, Connor was discreetly summoned to the HR office. The door shut behind him with a quiet thud as he entered, the bustling kitchen sounds muffled but still audible beyond the walls. Miss Harding waited, her expression composed but firm. She gestured to a chair, but Connor remained standing, arms crossed and jaw tight. We need to discuss your behavior earlier, Miss Harding began. The way you addressed Mila was disrespectful and unprofessional. Regardless of appearances or assumptions about her role, everyone here deserves respect. That's non-negotiable. Connor's mouth pressed into a thin line. I didn't know she was the new head of operations, he replied defensively. She wasn't dressed like management. Miss Harding's gaze didn't waver. That's precisely the issue. Judgment based on superficial assumptions creates problems in a workplace as demanding as this. Your actions have already caused discord among the staff. She leaned forward slightly. We expect a formal apology, not just privately to Mila, but publicly to the team. Also, we're temporarily reassigning you from your lead kitchen duties while we review your conduct and provide leadership training. Connor's eyes flashed with frustration and humiliation, but he nodded stiffly. Understood. Back on the kitchen floor, word traveled quickly through whispers and sidelong glances. Where once Connor had exuded confidence, now many eyes averted from him. His boasting early that morning was met with muted responses, some staff exchanging looks that silently questioned his judgment. Mila, meanwhile, continued moving through the kitchen and front-of-house spaces with quiet assurance. Her presence encouraged smiles and brief, genuine greetings from the team. She engaged with cooks, servers, and dishwashers alike, asking practical questions and listening intently to their answers. It was clear she was present not only in title but in action. During a team meeting to discuss upcoming menu changes, Connor was required to stand and deliver his apology. The room was packed with the staff, their attention unwavering. I want to apologize to Mila and to all of you, Connor began, voice uneven but sincere. I was wrong to judge and order her around. I should have treated her with respect, no matter what. I hope you can forgive me. Mila accepted his apology calmly, nodding. Thank you, Connor. Everyone deserves respect here. The atmosphere in the room shifted palpably as tension gave way to understanding. It was a turning point. As days passed, Connor's demeanor softened. He attended the mandated leadership training sessions and began collaborating more cooperatively with his colleagues. The staff's attitude toward him mellowed, though the imprint of his earlier arrogance lingered faintly. One afternoon, Mila caught Connor in the corridor as she made her rounds. Their eyes met briefly, a silent exchange of acknowledgement passing between them before Connor gave a slight nod and stepped aside. It was a quiet moment of mutual recognition, no forgiveness sought, no bitterness held. Walking through the polished halls of Le Rêve, Mila moved with a purposeful confidence that now felt utterly natural. Staff greeted her with respectful smiles, conversations opened up, and the restaurant thrived under her steady leadership. She embodied a kind of strength that commanded respect, not through loud declarations, but through presence, fairness, and genuine engagement. In that space, Mila was no longer the underestimated newcomer. She was the steady heartbeat of the establishment, the architect of its unity and excellence. And with each confident step, she reshaped what leadership looked like in this kitchen and beyond.